Welcome to Titan HST's Business Continuity Today, hosted by Todd DeVoe, where planning meets reality.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are at in this fine land. And my name is Todd DeVoe, and I'm the host of Titan HST's Business Continuity Today. And one of the things I love to do is learn new things and share them with you all. And, although this might not be a new thing, we're going to talk a little bit about communications failure and really what this means and some of the issues that we've seen across the country, across the world, in the last few years when it has come to, cell and hardline and voice over internet protocol, all sort of collapsing during emergencies. And, as public safety leaders, and citizens are impacted by these disasters, what can you do to specifically kind of hedge your bet when it comes to keeping your communication lines open and running? And, we've seen, I'm not going to go over each individual case that we've seen, but we've seen time and time again when the system is overloaded, you lose connectivity. And cell phone, when everybody's jumping on a cell phone, the towers get overwhelmed. Sometimes the central office closes down because it's overwhelmed. And how do you keep your communications going forward? So there's technology that's out there, and like everything else, you have to learn how to use the technology, work with the technology, and make it part of what you're doing. And this is some of the stuff that we're doing at Titan HST, which I think is very interesting, and why I'm always excited about Titan HST's communications protocol. And one of the things that we have is mesh networking. Now, I've spoken about mesh networking before, but I really want to get a little bit deeper into how it really works. Now, I'm not going to be on the technical side, so all those technical people out there, don't start jumping on me and tell me, hey, there's this doodad or that doodad that really works. I'm going to get into just a practical application of what it means. And I want to go back to the incident that happened during Hurricane Ida in New Orleans, where the 911 center collapsed, right? Everything was offline for 13 hours. The provider over there couldn't get things up and running. And, I don't want to, again, I'm not throwing stones, so I don't want to do that. But the idea here is things happen, right? Whether it's human caused, natural caused, doesn't make a difference. Things happen. So you have to have those plans to back it up. And so I've been working with and talking to a lot of people on the mesh networking side of things. And there's some really exciting technologies that are coming out from there. And with Titan HST, the mesh networking is simple. When you pick up your phone and you have the Titan HST app on your phone basically becomes part of the network. It becomes a node in that network. And the more phones and the more people that you have working through and putting stress, I suppose, for lack of a better term, onto the system, it actually works better. So when I talk about the concepts of disaster resiliency, right, or anti-fragility, and the idea of anti-fragility is that when the stressors are on there, it makes things better. That's exactly how the mesh networking process works. So when you're in a stadium, say, the big game that happened last weekend, and it's full of hundreds of thousands of people. I don't know about hundreds, but at least close to that. And you have everybody on their phones. You have the systems going on. Because of the way mesh networking works, instead of putting the stresses on the system and making it crash, it actually makes the system work better. And that's really kind of the cool part about it, right? And so is it flawless? I don't know, right? Has it been tested to that point? But is it better than what we have working through when the 911 system crashes because too many people pick up the phone and call? Absolutely. And so you need to start looking for devices and products that are going to be able to not only just augment your communications issues, right? But you're going to have to, it will enhance what your communication issues are, right? And so when facing the challenges, when the communication infrastructure fails, it's time and time again that we've talked about this, and the idea of saying, hey, the number one thing that we put on our after action report always is communications, right? Communications. We know that that's a problem. And so leading forward, like you should be doing, and looking at what can you do to really box that communications problem out, right? Using a basketball term. And and looking at the challenges that you have is, if you can't communicate, if you can't get people calling in or marking in where their emergency is, how things are moving, if there's like active shooter situation that happened like yesterday, all right, where are you safe or not safe? Where was can you post where the last time the bad guy was seen, right? Can you take a picture of them and send that forward, through the shared cloud device, right? Where those are those issues that you need to be working out prior to an event, right? And so having that mesh networking that is integrated through the Internet of Things, to where it is not reliant upon one system, right? So such as cell towers, but multiple systems, and is able to bounce between those systems and still communicate. I think that's the exciting part, what we're seeing here with the mesh network capabilities that are coming out, and the mesh network capabilities that Titan HST has, specifically when it comes to cell phone communication. And the cool part about this too is this system will keep pushing the message out until it can find another cell tower or something that can broadcast it even more broadly. So it becomes a daisy chain. So one phone to phone to phone to phone to phone, it hits a network and it pushes out everywhere. So the communication and it's seamlessly and fast. And this is what you need to be looking at. We cannot afford to have another issue such as what happened after Hurricane Ida or after 9/11 or the fires that happened up in Northern California. These were communication, or in Puerto Rico, right? When these communication towers just went down and it was without. We're seeing some of the issues with communication today in Turkey and Syria because they're overwhelmed and they lost infrastructure, right? When we have large scale disasters, right? It's not if, it's when we have large scale disasters, we are going to always have communication issues. And why not lean forward? Why not call Titan HST today, right? Go down. Normally we talk about this at the end, but I'll talk about it right now. Is if you go to titanhst.com, tell them the business continuity today sent you, you're going to get a 30-day free trial of the software, and you can play with it yourself and see how it works and put it on a few different phones and practice, like shut your communications down to see how things work. It's just an amazing tool to have. Lean forward, put these plans in place today. Work through what those communication issues are. Work through what your secondary and tertiary communication devices will be. We talk about the idea of even going to a ham radio possibility, right? So yeah, but not everybody knows how to use a ham or is ham qualified, right? So why not get everybody on one system through your phones, and it goes through platforms. So it doesn't make a difference if it's Apple to Apple, Apple to Android, Android to Apple to whatever is out there. It crosses platforms. That's the other side of it that's really exciting. So creating that mesh network, creating that device that will, or buying that device that will create that space for you to be able to communicate when everything else is down, that's life-saving. That's life-changing. And I'm telling you, I've seen this happen. We're looking at issues that happened yesterday. Looking at the explosion happened over in Ohio. We're looking at the 9/11s. We're looking at the hurricanes. We're looking at these fires that come blowing through and burning down communication devices or communication towers. You need to have a communication device that's going to be able to bypass all of that, and you can do that with the mesh networking application that is part of Titan HST, and it makes your phone a really cool device. And there's some other things that we're working on too that are even going to make it better. So that's all I have to say today. the challenges that we face with communications is that if you don't know where the people are injured are, if you don't know where your survivors are, if you can't communicate with them where they can find safety, and lives are at risk, and having a device like this at the end of the day is going to save lives. It's going to save time, which saves lives, and it's going to be able to take that one device, that one thing that we always have on our after action report where it says communication, and let's work hard on removing that from all of our after action reports. Hey, everybody, I really appreciate spending time with me this morning. It is, is you. This is why we do this. It's the community that we're building. And again, please go to Titan HST. Check it out. Go down, say business continuity, say sent you, get your 30-day free trial of the software, and kick those tires, see what they're like, practice with it, play with it. I'm sure you're going to walk away with the same excitement and admiration I have for the product. So until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay hydrated.